Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome everyone. Regular Rollers time. We are going to get rolling right after I mention that this week's list is brought to you by Greg Morris Cards. More on them coming up in just a bit. Start of one sent in by Jason, who wrote, it's rare for me to jump on buying an eBay lot immediately after seeing it, but I recently came across this lot of 1996 Playoff Illusions 3XI Spectre Illusion Dominion die cuts. As you can see, the lot includes 3 Hall of Famers in Jerome Bettis, Marshall Faulk, and Curtis Martin. However, I bought the lot for the Hall of Fame hopeful Mike Alstott. I've had this card on my PC list for years. There was one Alstott that was sold recently on eBay for around $55, so when I saw this lot as a buy it now for $65, I could not pass it up. These cards are a great early example of refractor-like cards and die cuts with beautiful design. The eye appeal of these cards is amazing. I plan to keep the Alstott for my PC and sell the other 3. I should easily make a tidy profit on this lot and get a free PC card to boot. Next one was sent in by Carl, who wrote, I recently won an eBay auction for a Pop 1 Gem Mint 10 Devin Hester 2006 Topps Chrome Rookie Auto. I was thrilled when this came up as an auction and stunned at how low the initial bidding was. It got a little hotter towards the end, but I managed to snag this for a really great price. Yeah, I've mentioned a couple times, if you're a football collector and you just sort of avoid quarterbacks, you can really get some, great cards of amazing players for a heavy discount, at least compared to quarterbacks. This is the 2006 Topps Chrome Devin Hester Rookie Auto. It's a PSA Gem Mint 10, like you said, a Pop 1. Devin Hester's a future Hall of Famer, I'm going to assume, and in the conversation for the greatest return men of all time. And yeah, this is one of his, absolute key rookies, $188. If this was a quarterback, a future Hall of Fame quarterback, this would be, 10 times this at least, probably more than that. So a good example of stretching your hobby dollars as a collector in the football world. This was sent in by Mike, who simply wrote, I bought this card as a best offer for $174. I've looked and I believe only 76 were made of the gold medallion. Yeah, this is an interesting card. 1996 Fleer Ultra Thunderclap gold medallion, Jose Canseco, and it's a parallel of an insert. The 1996 Ultra Thunderclap is just a standard insert set, but then this is a parallel of the insert, the gold medallion with the circle in the upper left. Much, much rare. I don't know what the pull rate was, or 76 might be the print run, like he said. That sounds certainly plausible, but a very, very rare card. And if you were just sort of going through a random collection and ran across this card, didn't recognize it, you might think this is like just a standard dollar card or something like that. But a lot of the 1990s, the 1990s is the first year sports cards had inserts, so they're sort of learning the ropes. Today, a card like this would almost surely be serial numbered, or yeah, I guess probably serial numbered. But back then they didn't really serial number cards much, or they hadn't really done that a whole lot yet. And so there are there are some really, really rare 90s inserts that you wouldn't know it. And here's a good example of this card's an easy 3-figure card. This was sent by Will, who wrote, I collect John Valentin, who played for the Red Sox in the mid-90s through the early aughts. If you look him up in Baseball Reference, you will see he had a couple incredible years for the Sox. Given the timing of his career, he has a lot of limited parallel cards from that time. Recently, I was tracking 2 such cards, a 99 Pacific Crown Royale Limited Series and a 99 Bowman Gold. These cards were being sold at auction on eBay. Both were numbered out of 99. Both were being sold by the same seller, ending within 48 hours of one another. I won the first auction for the Crown Royale Limited Series for the minimum bid of $1. I was really happy with that, even with the $5 shipping fee. I figured I could win the 99 Bowman Gold in combined shipping anyway, but it didn't quite work out like that. $31. I didn't even bid since I was way more than I wanted to pay. What happened here? Same player, same year of issue, same serial number, same seller. I understand the Bowman could be a more desirable brand than Crown Royale, but by 30x, I was blown away by that price. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not really sure how to explain that. I would have guessed that both of these cards would have sold for about the same, given like you said, the same specs, year, serial number, etc. The Crown Royale for $1, that's an amazing price. Any card from the 90s numbered out of 99 is a good buy at $1. The Bowman for 31. I mean, I'm not sure why that went so high. Perhaps there were just two, people putting the set together who were bidding against each other and willing to overpay a little bit, or perhaps just 2 John Valentin super collectors didn't see the Crown Royale one, but did see the Bowman one. And this card, I'm guessing, doesn't come up for sale very often. So if you really want this specific card for some reason, sometimes you're gonna have to overpay. This was sent in by Drew, and I mean, check this out. He wrote, these pics I sent are of my freehand art collage on 6-foot canvas It is titled 20th Century. Work began in 1993 and finished in 2000. Many celebrities have autographed this canvas back in the 90s. Muhammad Ali added AKA Cassius Clay. Reggie Jackson added Mr. October. Joe Namath signed it with Broadway. It has been on stage with and then signed by Gene Simmons. Other signatures were Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Chevy Chase, Dennis Rodman, Don Mattingly, Tracy Lords, and Baba Booey from Howard Stern. The canvas took me over 6 years to complete with over 4,000 hours of pencil portrait sketchwork. Nowadays, I cannot envision any human devoting 4,000 hours to a single project. There is a larger ghost image of Marilyn Monroe hiding somewhere around the top left. This art has been shown publicly and has on multiple occasions brought viewers to tears. This was sent in by Philip, who wrote, did I miss something on this Mookie Betts 2014 Atomic Die Cut? It is from his rookie season. It's numbered out of just 99. PSA has only graded 3 of them, and the last one sold that I can find was a PSA 10 all the way back in 2018 for $75. I know CSG isn't a popular grading company, but how did I win an auction for this card for less than $10 with the auction fees? Yeah, I mean, I think you probably just kind of got lucky here. This card must have slid under the radar. This is obviously a steal at $10. A Mookie Betts rookie insert at a 99 gem mint grade, or I guess mint plus grade. But CSG is just not a popular company, and the resale value on CSG cards just is not there. A lot of people just, when searching PWCC or other auction houses like this, won't even will kind of filter out CSG because they're just not interested. And if you're open to having cards in CSG holders, obviously you can get quite a discount, as the example here. Next one was sent by Brett, who wrote, I've come across a 1964 Topps Mickey Mantle card pictured below. It was graded by CSA, who has since gone out of business. I was wondering if I could get your opinion on it, whether you think it could be fake, and if CSA's grading can be trusted. From the research I've done, CSA was a legitimate grader that went out of business and had 3 different slab types over the years. According to my research, the clear case that the Mantle is in is when the company was not catching fakes and were giving out very generous grades, usually 1 to 2 points higher than PSA or other graders would. I think that might be an interesting topic to cover. There are obviously still some CSA graded cards out there, and as a collector, it's important to know how they will cross over to other graders and how likely it is for them to be counterfeits. Yeah, I mean, I loosely remember CSA barely. I sort of remember them a little bit, but looking at the photo here, there's nothing that screams fake to me, except that the card is so sharp that that by itself sort of is a sign that it's fake. But I mean, I guess technically this card could be real. Having said that, it's a fake. This is the kind of thing I encounter quite regularly. A high-end vintage card in some holder that is not one of the major companies, and it just never pans out. Again, is it possible this one is the one exception out of 100 or 1,000 or whatever? Yeah, but I would never even consider buying this card without seeing it in person. It's just not a road worth going down. It's a gamble with, horrible odds, I would say. Next up is the 1984 Skybox Emotion Michael Jordan, and it's graded PSA Gem Mint 10. I always really liked this set. It's just a base card here, but I thought it was a nice looking set, and I thought that was clever how every player had a word associated, their own unique word associated with them on the front of the card. And in Jordan's case here, his word is Air, because his nickname was Air Jordan. But there would be words like, dedication and passion, and I think Reggie Miller's was no joke or something like that. And I just thought that was a cool concept, and a set I remember really well from my childhood. This card sold for $111. I was the seller. I sold it through Greg Morris Cards, who, as I mentioned at the beginning, is sponsoring this episode. They're one of the most trusted sellers on all of eBay for sports cards. I'm a customer of theirs as both a buyer and a seller. If you buy through them, you can trust their grades and their descriptions, as their feedback is basically perfect. And if you sell through them, you can expect your cards to sell for strong prices. I recommend you give them a try. I've included links to their website and their eBay page in the description below. Next one was sent by Grant, who wrote, I collect all 3 quarterbacks from the 2004 draft class that had very successful pro careers: Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, and Phillip Rivers. I came across this 2004 dual endorsements Phillip Rivers and Kyle Bowler dual auto. Bowler was a first-round pick in 2003 and started a few seasons for Baltimore, but did not achieve much success in the NFL. The card was in an auction, but also accepting offers with 3 days remaining, and the auction only being at $5. I sent an offer for $30, buy it now. The seller countered at $45, then I countered at $33. The seller countered at $42. I simply decided to put in a bid for $33 in the auction. The card ended up on bids for $20.50, so I'm now all in for around $30. I think this is a great example of taking a solid offer when you have the chance, as this cost This cost the seller basically $12. I enjoy collecting dual autos as it can be a cheaper way to collect autos of a player, as bowler being featured on the card makes it less attractive to most collectors. I know you have talked before on if Rivers makes the Hall of Fame. I think he gets in as he is 6th all-time leader in passing yards and is in the top 10 for every quarterback stat. However, he has no Super Bowls. Regardless, $30 all in on an auto of a quarterback, on a rookie auto of a quarterback with Rivers stats is a good buy in my mind, and a lesson to sellers to consider offers, as the seller left money on the table. This was sent by Guy, who wrote, I decided to go after a rainbow I knew from the start I'd never achieve, not just because of the scarcity, but the prices of the lowest number parallel cards are way out of my price range. It all started on accident since I knew I wanted the Khabib Nurmagomedov 2021 Prism Rainbow, but as I stated earlier, it wasn't achievable, so after the green and the silver, I let it go. Out of the blue one day, a guy in my UFC Prism group on Facebook reached out to me to trade a Khabib auto I was showing off in a comment for the green Pulsar out of 25, and the rest of the higher number parallels, minus the pink and unnumbered white sparkle. I was only into the Khabib auto for $50 since I bought UFC before it was popular, and as it is now, I had two. So over the years, since my goal has been to snag the pink and the Mojo out of 25, but they never pop up until last Saturday. I woke up to the notification, immediately sent in an offer to lock it down, which was declined with a higher offer, but still less than the asking price. We went back and forth with the wait in between responses causing me ulcers. But I shall soon have it in my hands. With only 25 in the world, I'm so happy to finally have this gem, since who knows when the next one will be posted. I've been waiting for years and missed out on the last one. I'm glad I don't have to worry about getting there on time, since I doubt I would have gotten this one if it wasn't Saturday morning when lots of people sleep in. And since that was the last parallel I'll likely be able to afford, I consider my rainbow complete. This was sent by Philip, but I don't know what's going on, but I feel like Hall of Fame autographs have dropped in price. I started in September getting this Ted Williams for just $26. This is not the format of them I normally collect, but couldn't pass up a Ted Williams autograph for under $30. The next day I won a PWCC auction for Cal Ripken Jr. at only $37 with the buyer's premium, and at the end of the month I added Yogi Berra to my collection for just $25. I know postcards are not the ideal format to collect autographs, but the display on my walls of autographed Hall of Fame plaque postcards looks great and always makes me smile. My collection is up to 79 players and 5 managers. If you take out the people who died before they were inducted into the Hall of Fame, umpires and executives, I'm currently up to 45% of the Hall of Fame. Oh wow, that's pretty impressive. 45% of the Hall of Fame. That's getting up there. I don't know a lot about autographs. It's not my area of expertise, but I would say Cal Ripken signs a lot, so his autograph is generally fairly inexpensive. That would be my explanation here. The Yogi Berra strikes me as a great price. I don't really know, but he passed away a number of years ago. $25 for a Yogi Berra autograph, JSA certified. That strikes me as a great deal. The Ted Williams does not come with a legit COA, so that's probably why the price was so low on this one. And I'll finish on this one sent in by Mike, who wrote, I was searching Hall of Fame autos and I came across this cheap Warren Moon rookie auto. I was able to meet him as a kid when I got to go on the field pregame before a Chiefs game in one of his last seasons. I was able to get this for $35, even with the Hall of Fame inscription. A lot of new investors in the hobby like to look at what a card could be worth in the future, looking for X return. I prefer to look at what I think the lowest it could be in the future. Yeah, and that's a great way to think of it, especially if you're a collector or if you're a safe long-term investor, I guess we'll say. 1985 Topps Warren Moon rookie, cards autographed with a nice inscription, authenticated by Beckett, $35. I mean, yeah, instead of thinking of like, oh, is this going to be worth big bucks down the road? Another way to think of it is, $35, a Hall of Fame rookie card, autographed, nice inscription, authenticated by Beckett. What are the chances this will ever be worth less than $35? Seems pretty unlikely. Pretty safe bet that it will never really go down much, if at all. But that's it for this week's regular rollers. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for all the great submissions as always. And whether you are high or regular, keep on rolling. Thanks everyone.